One commonality you might have noticed in true crime is the propensity of convicted criminals to attempt to explain their crimes in a way that makes them seem to be good people. Their after-the-fact explanations of their crimes tend to fall into either the category of being misunderstood by society or that of having simply made a one-off mistake. One reason for this commonality is that many criminals are acting on what's called level 1 morality, while still explaining their actions with what is called level 2 morality. Empirical studies on moral development show that the vast majority of adults have reached a level of internal morality called conventional morality, or level 2 morality, in which we are guided by performing well in our relationships and roles, such as trying to be a good husband or a good student. Prior to reaching this stage of thinking, people are motivated only by potential rewards and punishments. This type of thinking is called pre-conventional morality, or level 1 morality. Adolescents usually move into the conventional morality stage around the time of high school. In this transformation, you begin thinking in terms of roles, and attempting to match your behavior to the idealized version of that role, with less regard to personal consequences. This is, for example, why we see much more cooperation among high school basketball games as opposed to middle school basketball games. High school players know that to be a good teammate, you must pass the ball, whereas middle schoolers, those still in level 1 morality, are almost entirely focused on getting points and praise for playing well. The shift from thinking in terms of what's in it for me to how can I be good at my role applies to every area in life. And so the amusing, or perhaps scary, part of all of this is that studies have found that 95% have moved past level 1 morality, with 90% in level 2, and 5% in the more abstract level 3. In other words, that leaves 5% of adults in level 1 morality. That is, 5 out of every 100 adults you meet will still have the mindset of a middle schooler. You can probably think of a few people in your life that match this description, only now you know the reason for their selfishness. They simply never evolved their sense of morality after middle school. But most interesting, at least to me, is that this group of adults nonetheless understands that society works at a level 2 morality, and so they act as if they too think with a conventional morality. So the result is a small percentage of the population with middle schooler mindsets pretending that they are adults. East Asian languages actually have a word for this, 中二病 in Chinese, or 中二病 in Japanese. The word literally translates to second year of middle school sickness. With these people, you get situations in which someone's intentions are clearly selfish, but upon confronting that person, you get a bunch of level 2 excuses. One of my favorite examples of this type of person is a very simple example. It's Jack Scalfani, a YouTube food reviewer who uses his channel as an excuse to gorge himself on large amounts of food. His level 1 motive is just getting as much food in his gullet as possible, and you can see this just from how big of a bite he takes. Notably, he will ingest anything as long as it is calorically dense, from raw chicken to spoonfuls of mayonnaise. But most interesting to me is that his descriptions of food are limited to really good and its variants. Yet he pretends to have the refined palate of a actual food reviewer because he knows he is supposed to be a food reviewer, and he's always looking around after taking a bite as if in deep thought before giving his 1 or 2 word review, which typically boils down to a cavemanish, "It good." At least until he realizes he didn't get as much quantity as promised.
It's really good. No, it's really good.
Put it here.
Wow. Oh, that bourbon flavor is explosive. That's the most I've ever tasted on a bourbon burger. They got a good sauce going on. All right, guys. Do I recommend spending $7? No. I go with the $5 one with the single patty, but it's really good.
I don't see any bacon. It's supposed to be a bourbon bacon.
What? Yeah. There's no bacon on my burger.
No.
Okay, we're going back.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No.
Jack really takes a level 1 mindset to a whole new level, even dressing like a middle schooler. I know this is a bit off topic, but I really do recommend you check him out for a laugh or two. Anyway, back to the point. People love to laugh at these people because of how transparent they are. They are obviously acting on level 1 morality, but they give the most absurd level 2 reasons for their actions. It's the same type of explaining you'd get from a middle schooler who's trying to act older than his age. It's usually funny, but sometimes it's actually dangerous. So that brings us to our current case, which is a particularly stupid example of acting with a level 1 morality, but trying to explain it away with level 2 thinking. The level 1 thinking led to a robbery at gunpoint in this case, while the level 2 thinking led to an absurd rationalization in the interrogation room. While this case certainly isn't as exciting as a murder case, I do promise you that it is still interesting from a psychological perspective. Also, this interrogation is of never seen before footage. So, just one last quick note here before we get started. My goal with these true crime videos is to procure unique interrogations so that all my content is 100% original. I know a lot of true crime on YouTube is kind of stale. It's the same handful of interrogations analyzed over and over. I want to add some fresh content into the mix. So because of this, not every interrogation I release is going to be a hardcore murder case, but I will only upload cases that I think are still interesting from a psychological angle. I hope my videos are both entertaining and educational, and that said, my ears are still nonetheless open to my audience. I read every comment and I'm making every reasonable change when suggested. So let me know what you think and consider signing up for my Patreon, because Patreon members get early access to my videos and they're kind of like my quality control at this point. Without further ado, this is the case of Ardarreyus Walton.
Bay County Sheriff's Office has solved an armed robbery and the suspect is behind bars. It happened on November 30th at the Dollar General store off of Highway 231. They say 40-year-old Ardarreyus Walton from Prattville, Alabama has been arrested after a 2-day-long investigation into the incident. Authorities say at 8:15 on November 30th, the suspect went into the Dollar General, took out a firearm and demanded money. Investigators obtained this video of the incident in which the suspect got an undisclosed amount of cash and then drove away. Investigators were able to locate Walton at a residence on Brannon Road, where he was found getting into the passenger seat of a vehicle. Deputies then approached Walton and took him into custody. They say they believe he has been staying in Bay County for about a month. Walton is charged with armed robbery with a firearm and felon in possession of a firearm.
We didn't have a seat, man. I'm going to take them leg irons off of you. I'm going to take the leg ones off, and then we'll put them other ones up front. Way he got it. Yeah, just like when we put them on, if you lift one foot, there you go. Oop, don't fall. Alright. Here, I'm gonna put them up. Make it a little more comfortable. Better. We'll be back in here in a minute, okay? You good?
Yes,
okay. Alright. So, I'm going to turn this thing on, man. I'm going to ask you, like, your name, date of birth, all that kind of stuff, okay? We'll get into it. Like I said, Madam Secretary, the following statement taken by Investigator Merritt with the Sheriff's Office, current time and date, December 2nd, Wednesday, 2020, at 1:25 p.m. If you're with me, sir, state and spell your full legal name.
Say that again.
Can you state and spell your full legal name?
My full name is Ardarreyus Walton.
Okay. Spell it for me.
ARDAREYUSAntWalton.
Alright, what's your date of birth?
08/27/1980.
Okay. You know what your address is?
Panama City.
Alright. You got a phone number?
3. I use my sister's phone.
Okay, alright. Following being referenced to BCSO case determined at a later time and date. Mr. Walton, like I said, I advise you of your rights on scene. But since we're here, and it's on video, or audio and all that, I'm just going to go ahead and go over them with you again, make sure you understand them. They're here for you, okay? So before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions and have him or her present with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any question if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you still have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you'll do me a favor, read that paragraph right there for me.
I can't read too good.
Okay, alright. Well, I'll read it to you, okay? So it says, I have read the statement of my rights, and I understand what my rights are. I'm willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time, and I understand and know what I'm doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me. Is that a true statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sign your name for me right there. It's just saying that you understand what I read to you and you agree to that. Okay. Well, that's out of the way. Man, look. I mean, I know you said you were on hard times. Tell me what's going on.
I just went there, went in the store, asked the man, give me $100.
Okay. Well, before we get into that, I want to understand where you're at so far as what kind of mindset got you into something that you would go and do something like
My
that.
kids.
Your kids? How many kids you got?
3.
Got 3 kids? Little boys, little girls? You got
2 girls and 2 boys. 2 girls and 1 boy.
Okay. How old are they?
My little boy, he just turned 7, and I ain't never seen him. And the only reason I got the $100, I was gonna get a bus ticket and go to Tallahassee and spend Christmas with him.
Okay.
I ain't never seen him since he was born. I ain't never seen him. And it's on my mind. I see my little girls when I go to Alabama. I just want to see my little boy before he get older, and so he can get to know me. And that's the only reason why I did what I did.
Okay.
Walton's level 2 rationale for robbing the Dollar General for $100 was to buy a bus ticket so that he could see his son. He wants to play the role of the good father. But, as we'll see later, Walton did not, in fact, spend that $100 on a bus ticket, but on himself. But even without knowing how Walton spent that money, his narrative already makes little sense. Walton has never seen his 7-year-old son and claims that the only thing keeping him from having a relationship with his son is that $100 bus ticket. Logically, this means that in 7 years, Walton has never managed to save enough money for a bus ticket, despite being employed. In fact, a Greyhound bus ticket from Walton City to Tallahassee, where his son lives, is only $30, making Walton's story even harder to believe. Moreover, Tallahassee is a mere 2-hour drive from where Walton lives. Walton's sister, with whom he resides, has a car and could presumably give him a ride. If not, Walton could brave the 29-hour walk from his residence to Tallahassee. A 29-hour hike might seem like a long time, but it's a small price to pay for the gift of seeing your son for the first time. This is the middle school mindset in a nutshell. Do whatever you want and explain it away when the need arises. Walton wasn't apprehended until 2 days after the robbery, meaning he had 48 hours to come up with a better story. He didn't, mostly because he didn't understand society. His understanding of society was just a level 1 perception of a level 2 morality. As we'll see shortly, Walton thinks that he'll get leniency if he just shows that his robbery had good intentions behind it. He believes that the court system will just let him walk if he plays the good father role.
Alright. You say you've been staying there at your sister's house for a couple months?
Yes, sir.
I got you. They living back up in Prattville?
Who, my sister?
You kid.
Yeah, my 2 girls live up there.
Okay. Your little boy stay here?
Yeah, he stay in Tallahassee.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That where his mama stays?
Mm-hmm. I talk to her every now and then on the phone. She want me to come up just spend time. We had planned a trip to go to Atlanta. Me, her, and my sister. Well, my sister planned the trip. She already done paid for the room. Mm-hmm. It's just a family thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I hope and pray I be out to still go to spend time with my son.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that eat me up.
Yeah, maybe so. So you got to get a bus ticket. You can't afford one to go up there. So tell me about how you go about getting your sister's gun and all that.
Well, she was in the house. She didn't know what I was doing. I came in there and put on all black. I got a key to a truck. Well, she don't ride in the truck all the time. She riding in the blue car whenever she go to work or whatever. She ain't work that night. And so I went to the house, got the key, unlocked the door, brought the key back, put on my clothes, just told her I'd be back. And I went and got the gun and just walked around them and did what I did.
Okay. You remember what pants and shoes and all that you were wearing? Tell me about those.
The pair of pants, like, wasn't black Nike jogging pants.
Okay. And we...
In a black... And it was just a black jacket I had on, what my dad had on for it.
Okay. Like a hoodie kind of deal?
No, it ain't had no hoodie on. It's just a jacket like this. It's black.
Okay. All right. What kind of hat were you wearing?
All black fitted hat.
Okay. Well, I know that. It's a full flat fill flip. What was on the front of it? What did that say?
Oh, Cleveland.
Okay. Basketball team?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. What about your shoes, man? What kind of shoes were they?
Oh, some black and red and white Jordan.
Gotcha. All right, so you decide to walk up to the store with a gun. Decide you're going to do what you got to do. Tell me about your thought processes so far as...
I thought about it, because it took me a minute to do it, man. I swear to God.
Okay. That means you're human.
Yeah. It was an 18-wheeler part, like, right here, where you walk, like, walking dog. I started buying that truck for about an hour before I even thought about doing it. I said, man, I can't do this. But I got to start thinking about my son.
Right.
So I said, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and see, can I get $100 to get a bus ticket and just go out there and see my son.
Okay. So on the video, you come into the store first before all this happens, and you know.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what you did when you walked in the first time before you walked back out. And then
I walked in there and see how many folk was in there.
Okay.
Because I ain't really want to do the shit. Like I said, I ain't really want to do it while the folk was in there.
Yeah.
So I walked in there and see who all was in there. Then I walked back out, stayed out there about 5 or 10 minutes. I just said, fucking just went and did what I did.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the mask that you had on?
That's it. The Alabama mask, I just had it flipped on the white side.
Okay. All right. That's the one that was in your pocket that I pulled out?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So when you come in through the door and you go over to the register, tell me about all that. Tell me.
I just went over there, and the dude that was on the register, I was like, man, just give me $100. So he walked out behind. The register was closed. He said he ain't had no key.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to the back, got the key. Well, he didn't get the key. He bought the manager back, the old lady that had the key in the store. I was made like I told her, because I had a shirt in my hand, but I had the the gun wrapped up in the shirt.
Okay.
And I told her I want to return this shirt, and I gave him a receipt, and I didn't give him the receipt.
Yeah.
So she was like, I could just give you a gift card or whatever. I was like, nah, that's all right. So I walked off, and she went somewhere. So I went back over there where he was, 'cause he had a customer. So the customer paid for his stuff, and then he, I said, man, cause I was standing behind the customer with the gun. He knew I had the gun, and I told him don't say nothing. So when the customer paid for his stuff, so he went in the restaurant while I was open and gave me $100, and I left.
Okay. At any time, I mean, he tells me that, because I went up there that night and took statements and all that, me and the other guy in the white shirt. Says she asked for the safe money.
No, I ain't here for no safe money.
Okay. He didn't tell you that the safe was time delayed and that he couldn't open it and all that?
I ain't here for no safe money. The only thing I asked him just said, man, just give me $100 out the wrist.
Okay. Alright.
Because I knew he couldn't get in that safe.
Yeah.
I just said, give me $100. Gave me $100 and I left.
It's unlikely that the employee lied about Walton asking for the safe money. A more likely explanation is that Walton needs to deny asking for the safe money so as to maintain his narrative that he only needed $100 for the sake of seeing his son. The actual amount Walton intended to rob doesn't actually translate into a more lenient sentence anyway. Florida law imposes a 10-year minimum sentence for any robbery involving a gun.
Okay. Tell me about the path you took back to your house. How did you...
I went straight back. Boy, I ain't go through no woods, and then I came straight.
You walked down the streets?
Walked down the road.
Okay.
You know, Dollar General right there. You come down that little dirt road right there. I walked that dirt road, came on back in the house, changed my clothes, and that was it. And I got in the bed and went to sleep.
I got you. How'd you get the gun back to where it belonged without your sister knowing?
I had put it in the truck. I unlocked the truck before I left.
Okay.
And when I went back to the house, she ain't been nowhere, so I opened the door up, put it back in the glove box, and went in the house like everything was cool.
I got you.
And I locked the door back. I got a key, said, lock your truck, make sure your truck door locked, and I locked it back.
Okay. Is that where the gun was when you went and got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Describe it to me. What kind of gun is it?
It's like a little 3A black, about that long.
Okay. You know what brand it is by chance?
No, sir. She got a license for that gun.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I told you on the scene, man, we ain't sweating your sister. You know, this is your deal, not hers, and you know, I appreciate you not giving us a bunch of BS.
No, I ain't with that, man, 'cause I don't want stuff to be hard on me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, I don't try and get on about no hard time.
I get it, man. I'm a dad too. I mean, when it comes to kids, we'll do anything for our kids. I mean, I get it. You know, that don't make it right, but yeah. I understand. You know, I can sympathize with you on that.
Then when I talk to him, he be crying on the phone. That would really eat me up.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got my kid's name on my arm, man.
Every time I talk to him, he called me. I video chat him. He be crying to my dad, when you gonna come see me? And that's why I thought about. That's why I did what I did, man.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, I wouldn't have did that. I ain't never robbed nobody. I ain't never did that. Never in my life since I've been on this earth.
I believe you.
I ain't never did nothing like that.
Okay. So what did you do with? I know you told me that you spent it on food, stuff like that. You know exactly where you spent all that money.
Spend it on food, man.
Where'd you go to buy food?
I went to a couple stores.
The level 1 motivation comes out right here. After robbing the Dollar General for $100, Walton spends it on food. Man's gotta eat, right? Man's gotta eat. What can I say? But even better is the follow-up question as to why Walton didn't buy a bus ticket with that money.
You remember which ones?
But I both went and bought a bus ticket, but I didn't.
How come?
Because I knew this was going to come down to this. I can't be running all my life for my son. making it hard on him.
Yeah.
So I say I ain't going nowhere. I knew y'all were coming. I just didn't know if it was gonna be today.
Yeah.
I was just finna go to work trying to make some money. Cause we got this trip we both be going on, and I gotta have some money for my son, show him a good time.
I really love Walton's logic right here. I just robbed the store of $100 to buy a bus ticket so that I can see my son. However, now that I'm a criminal and I am on the run, well, I guess I should just buy some food and wait until I get caught. I mean, after all, I can't keep running all my life. I mean, at that point, he was running, and I use that term loosely. He never left the city for a total of 2 days. I mean, I've read stories of criminals who get tired of being on the run after years or decades of avoiding the law, and they just give themselves in. But Walton must hold the record for the lowest tolerance for being on the lam.
I was trying to show him a good time.
Where we all going?
Atlanta.
Okay.
My sister got a room. We got like 16 rooms or something. So we got a big family. It was gonna be me and my ex-wife, her and her boyfriend, then my mom, stepmom, and my dad. Then gonna be my brother and his old lady, couple friends. That's all.
There you go.
And show the kids a good time, man.
Huh?
Take them to the museum or whatever they wanted to do.
Okay. Where's your hat at, man? That you were wearing that night? Do you know?
It's at my sister's house hanging up.
You gonna hanging up? Where at?
Right when you walk in the kitchen, up under the rack by the freezer.
Okay.
In my stomach.
Bro, me hungry. I'm hungry too. We've been working this hard. Have you seen us in the area?
Talking about today?
Since it happened.
Bro,
we ain't left that neighborhood.
Oh, I ain't know that.
So, that means we doing a good job then.
Yeah, because I ain't know over $100 death kit. I just should took everything if I was going.
Alright, well. Anything else you want to add, man? You want to...
No, that's everything, man. I ain't going to sit up here and play with you like that. That's everything.
I appreciate that. So, you want a cup of water or something like that?
No, sir.
Okay. Alright. If everything you said was true and correct, man, if you'll just say your name like you're signing a legal document.
Ardarreyus Walton.
Alright. Madam Secretary concludes the statement. Current time is 1:39. Waiting on a phone call back. It's gonna be your sister. Told you we'd let you talk to her. Maybe she's had a chance to cool down some, and y'all can just talk. So you didn't know you had a son?
Oh, I knew I had a son. I just didn't see him since he was born.
Okay.
When she had him, I was in Alabama. Well, I don't know if I was in prison or what when she had him.
I got you.
I went to prison in 2015 and get out to 2016.
Mm-hmm.
The detective gives Walton a little too much credit here, in my opinion. Being a reasonable person, the detective thinks that the only reason Walton wouldn't see his 7-year-old son for 7 years is due to not knowing that he had a son. After all, a common scene in a lot of movies is the surprise, you have a son moment when a woman gives her distant lover a letter or some sort of surprise contact after a long time. But that's not what happened here. Walton knew that he had a son, but he gives excuses as to why he couldn't have seen his son. For example, he was in Alabama early in his son's life. But the odd thing is, Walton's hometown of Prattville, Alabama, is a whopping 4-hour drive from his son's town of Tallahassee, and the bus ticket to Tallahassee from Prattville is a whopping $250, almost 3 times the amount Walton robbed the Dollar General. So, I mean, how could he get there? It's like impossible to save $250 over the course of 7 years. And moreover, Walton was in prison for an entire year, from 2015 to 2016, making it impossible to see his son, at least for that year. That's 1/7 of his life. Of course, these are all excuses. From 2013 to 2020, with the exception of the year Walton went to jail for drug charges when his son was 2 years old, which, I mean, let's be honest, those are the worst years anyway, Walton only needed to acquire $250 or find a ride or even hitchhike to achieve the goal of seeing his son. The most likely explanation is that Walton's level 1 morality kept him in the present moment, and his son, who was very far outside Walton's immediate consciousness, was simply not a priority in his life.
Coke and meth?
Hmm?
For coke and meth?
No.
No? That's not what
I took a charge for somebody.
Right, but that's what you were charged with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even mine, man. The 2 people I was with, I just had came down here.
What you taking charges for people
I
for?
went to church. We were going to church on a Sunday. I don't know why they charged me with it anyway. They ain't get it off me. You know what I'm saying? They got out the girl pocketbook. How you gonna charge me with it?
Yeah.
See, the only reason they charged me with it come from Alabama, and they think I was doing it. You know what I'm saying?
But she was holding it for you?
No, she wasn't holding it for me.
That's what they...
Yeah, that's what they think. She was holding it for me.
Gotcha.
Her and her boyfriend was against me. You know what I'm saying? But I've been knowing them for a couple months.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's 2 against 1. You already know what it is when it's 2 against 1.
Right.
And I took the charge, did them years, got out, and I seen they gave me some money for doing the time. Only reason I did the time because the girl she got about 7 or 8 kids. If she would have went to prison, she wouldn't have nobody. DHR would have got all her kids.
Hey, right now, bro, I ain't doing no time for nobody.
I know I ain't want to do no time, but I ain't have nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have no witness. You know what I'm saying that it wasn't mine. But
right.
Only thing I was telling the officer, if you fingerprint her purse and the jewelry that y'all found, and I promise you, it ain't mine. I ain't even give him no hard time. Just like I'm sitting here talking to you, ain't giving you no hard time. I ain't giving him no hard time. They still took me to jail.
Gotcha.
But I told him I ain't want no probation. They're going to send me to prison.
Was it a bunch?
Yeah, she had pills and everything.
Okay. Yeah, for you not to get probation.
Oh, they gave me probation. But I just told you I don't want to do the probation.
Oh, okay. So I'd do that instead.
Yeah.
All free and clear. That makes sense.
And they ain't been in no trouble ever since.
Yeah. Born and raised up in Prattville?
Yes, sir. Mama passed in 2004. And that's another reason. I'm struggling, man. Hey. I ain't never struggled like this. When my mama passed, I lost everything, man.
Yeah.
Because she was there. I ain't had to worry about nothing. I was working. My dad just don't do nothing for me. I could ask him for $5 or $10. He take his money. He won't give me nothing. I said, man, you should be glad to want to give me something. You ain't seen me. Last time you seen me, I was 7 years old. And I'm just not seeing you. I'm grown.
Yeah.
You should feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? You get a check every month.
Certainly.
You get a check every month. You can't give me $5 or $10, man. I ain't asking you for it. You should be out there like, here, son. I ain't seen you a little while. I'm trying to take care. You ain't did nothing for none of my birthdays or nothing like that. I ain't had no data figure in my life.
Well, look at it this way, man. Only one way up from here.
I already know, man.
So, not only that...
I fucked up.
Not only that, I mean, deal with your consequences on all this. Be that father figure that your kids didn't have. Or that you didn't have. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Be someone that they want to look up to, not somebody that's going to be fucking up, running around doing dumb shit.
This is right here, man. Like I told you, I ain't want to do that shit, man. I started buying that truck.
Alright, here's your call. Hello? Right. She's on speakerphone.
Hello?
What made you do this? What made you do this?
I'm thinking about my son, Kim, going through a whole bunch of stuff. I'm sorry. Look. I know, Kim, but listen to me. I'm sorry for what I did. If you don't... Hold on. I'm sorry for what I did. If you don't fool with me, that's fine, too. And I just regret what I did, Kim.
You my brother.
I know, I'm just saying, listen to me.
You're wrong for that.
I know, I'm saying, just listen to me, Kim.
I'm listening to you, but it's not right, man. You just had a baby. You just had a baby, and you just got baptized. I don't understand it.
I'm sorry, Kim. I fucked up.
What? Yeah, but now look what's going to happen now. Look, now you're going to be out of your kids' life. It's not right for them kids. It's not right to your daddy. It's not right to us. Now when your nieces come here, what you going to say? Look what I got to tell them.
Don't tell them nothing.
I have to.
Well, listen.
You know better. You older than all of us.
You know how much doing here?
We don't know. You got to go see a judge tomorrow.
I see the judge tomorrow, Ken. They probably let me go or put me on probation, but I'm sorry for what I did, for real, and I'll make it up to you. I promise you. With all my heart, I promise you I'm sorry. I was just thinking about my kid, Kim, for real.
It ain't no excuse, man.
I know it.
A lot every day.
I know, Kim, but I just fucked up. I fucked up, Kim, and I ain't meant to do that. I fucked up, Kim. I meant to what I did. I fucked up. You know, I'm sorry. And I just want you to forgive me and just hang in there with me, for real. Because you the only person I can count on that'll do something for me. Kim, you got to realize, you got family, you got uncles and aunties. I ain't got nobody. Hold on. I ain't got nobody. I got uncles and aunties in Alabama. I called in, check on them. Can you know what my uncle told me the other day? When I called and tried to talk to him, you know what he told me?
What, man?
He said, fuck me. He said, fuck you. He said, fuck.
You got to understand, all this stuff going on. You see how my mom acts towards me. I have these kids. They're not even my kids. I still take care of these kids. I got a lot more going on than what you do. I don't do that. I get out here and get a job and I work. That don't give you the right. It ain't no excuse for it.
You right. I'm sorry. Tell Dad I'm sorry. I hope to be out tomorrow. I'm just sorry, man, for what I did. For real, I'm sorry.
All right.
And I love you, man, for real, and I just fucked up.
All right, man.
She just upset, man.
Yeah.
She hurt. You know what I mean? So, I mean, she kind of got a right to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give her some time. She'll come around.
Oh, she gonna forgive me, but I got baptized and everything. I'm trying to change, man. I got baptized right before Thanksgiving on the Sunday. Trying to change my life, man.
Well, that's the path you want. That's the path you gotta walk. So.
And she know what I did for food. We ain't got food out there. We paid $1,300 a month for that trailer, man. That's where all our money going into bills.
I believe it.
And then I did that. Went and bought groceries. Everything was good. We ain't have no food in there. We gotta eat. But I told her, I ain't tell her, but I thought about this shit, man. Like I told you, man, I sat on that truck for an hour. I was cold as fuck. I said, man, I can't do this shit. But I got to think about my son and think about we ain't got no food in the house. And I just said, forget that, and went on and did what I had to do.
Gotcha.
I hate I even did that, man. For real, I even hate I did that. I hope the judge work with me, give me probation, because I don't get in no trouble, man.
Right. So, what's going to happen now, okay, is you're going to go on up there to the jail. Once we get somebody to come up here and get you. You go up there. First appearance is at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. You go in front of the judge. They'll explain the charges that you got, and he'll set your bail from there, okay? From there, you'll be able to call, or she can call up there, find out what your bail is, and work it that way, okay? Alright. Hang tight. Somebody be back here in a few minutes, okay?
Thank you, man.
Yeah, bud. Still good? Hey man, real quick, something I thought about. Whose card did you use up at the gas station this morning?
Dog, man.
Is your card?
Cash app card.
Okay, alright. Any particular reason you signed it Andrew?
No, that was Ardarreyus. That's just a script.
Oh, okay.
That was my name.
I got you. Okay. Alright.
When I had bought them cigarettes.
Yeah, the Newports from this
Yeah.
one? Gotcha. Alright, well, patrol units are on their way to come get you, okay? They'll get you taken care of up there.
You remember asking I call my baby mama, my wife?
You called from the jail, man. I can't leave you making a whole bunch of phone calls. The only reason we let that is because we promised her. She kind of inadvertently got involved, you know what I mean, with you riding, so. Alright.
Go ahead, hop up. Just got to give you a ride. What I'm going to do is swap your cuffs out. There you go. Now listen, before you go into the jail, I mean, you don't have anything on you that'll get you in trouble in there? Okay.
You can search me down
No,
again,
they will. I just want to give you a chance because I don't want you, if you had a little something on you that you forgot about maybe, they find it at the jail, they'll add the charge. So you know how it goes. So yeah, I just don't want that to happen. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, you want to take your jacket off. No, you ain't got to strip down. Alright, I'm just going to pat you down, okay?
Yeah, make sure. Because I ain't trying to catch no more trouble.
Yeah, no, man. You ain't got nothing in your pocket. You're good. You're good. Here, I'm going to put him back in the front.
Okay.
Oh, we'll get his jacket. Yeah, we'll get his jacket.
Make sure you search everything before we leave.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been so straight with us. I hate for the jail to find something on you and then they add a charge. So no reason for it. All right, let's go. All right, man.
Yeah, I help you.
You too, man. Good luck to you.
Walton was sentenced to 10 years of prison time, which is the minimum sentence for armed robbery with a firearm. He should be out by 2031, at which time his son will be 18 years old. Hopefully, Walton uses those 10 years in prison to develop his sense of morality. If so, perhaps he can truly become the good father he has thus far pretended to be. Thank you guys for listening. That's going to be all for this interrogation. If you guys could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. I want to thank my handful of Patreons whose names will appear on the screen. Patreons get early access to my crime interrogation videos and are a show of support for me making this type of video as opposed to my standard stock trading content. Other than that, thank you for watching. Take care.